So welcome, family, friends, YouTube viewers. Choose whichever category you want to be in. That'll be fine with me. Although family, we may have to do a blood trace. Anyway, welcome to now this particular introduction is my third video. I did a first recording of my first in front of the camera video yesterday. Brave enough finally to hit that button, and then I did a retake, and just for the sake of how awful the first one was, I chose to do that one, to post that one. So anyway, I let Mrs. Evolving watch both videos, and she says, "Oh, you should just post it just like that." And I'm like, no, I need to edit out this, that, and the other thing, and oh, there's just gaps and stupidity. And she's, "Oh no, I love it, the authenticity and blah blah blah." And I'm like, so Mrs. Evolving watched the first two videos because original train wreck, and then the second one, which was better, and then of course the third one where, okay, I'm a little more confident, and I guess understanding that if I screw up, you know what, I watched, and my computer's over there now, Rob the Maritimer. He said, don't wait for it to be perfect, because it never will be. And I agree with that, because I do so many things just off the cuff. I should plan them more, but so many things are off the cuff. Poor Mrs. Evolving. Anyway, so if there is wisdom to be gained from this exercise, from this introduction and the video you're about to see, it is that we don't have to be perfect. We simply have to begin. And I think on that note, I'm just gonna let you watch it. Well, hello. So here I am doing my first YouTube video where I'm actually in front of the camera and talking at the same time. And it's kind of weird for me because my background has always been on the other side of a camera. However, it's been as a photographer, not a videographer. So being a videographer, I am sure, is going to be a much different beast. Photography, of course, you line things up and you make the product just right, you light it just right, and here I can't see what's going on, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit here. So anyway, first of all, I'd like to say, as I check my notes, first of all, it's not like I don't know how to juggle. I just don't have my balls. Anyway, moving on. So, one of the things they said, as I've researched, and of course I've done a lot of research before making my first in front of the camera YouTube video, is watching thousands of hours of videos, of course some of it for my entertainment, and some of it how to do a YouTube video, some of it on how, the very first ones, of course, are about how to do stuff, how to change the oil in a Lincoln, things like that. Although I've never changed oil in a Lincoln. But for example, let's see, do I have real examples? No. Will I edit this up? Probably. YouTube videos on how to build something. And that's my introduction with YouTube. And then I realized that people actually do YouTubing as a monetary thing, and I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. I mean, if I can be on this side of the camera and talk, I've done compilation videos where literally I just put together a bunch of pictures to music or a bunch of vids to music, and in my research notes, because, you know, nervous. I know I shouldn't be nervous in front of you, but here I am. So, of course, where was I going with that? Oh. So anyway, producing my first video is much like starting with a blank page or a blank project or because I do so many weird different things. Maybe not weird so much as I play with wood, I carve, I build things. I take pictures and then I edit them. For me, that's been therapy for decades. I used to do a lot of two-dimensional art, and now I'm starting to do two-dimensional art. So when I say researching YouTube videos, I watch other people do it, see what their process is. Number one, for my own information, to see if I can make myself better at whatever it is I do. But number two, what makes their videos appealing if I want to do this kind of thing on a regular basis. Now, of course, the immediate plan is, having watched, and I'm doing this because there's a computer over there, having watched somebody else say, this is how you do YouTube videos, this is how you monetize YouTube videos. And I'm thinking monetize because eventually I just want to retire. They say, what's that old phrase? Do what you love and you'll never have to work another day in your life. Will I love this? I don't know. I mean, maybe I will, and wouldn't that be cool? But, you know, if you can monetize it, supplement, you know, retirement, then why not? So that's kind of the thought process behind the project is hopefully I make illuminating enough topics, information, or cover, let's see, hopefully I cover enough illuminating topics to be of value to you so that you can watch, listen, share wisdom. Because for me, I am a forever and consummate student. I don't know that I'm ever really a teacher. I sometimes am an advisor. I love supporting people doing what they do. So from that aspect, when somebody tries to support me and give me support, it just feels weird. I don't know why, but I do enjoy helping others succeed. So maybe in a certain aspect, that's what I can do here is, you know, show somebody who is entirely not confident about speaking and doing things in front of a camera. Maybe you'll get your confidence by knowing that I am here probably filming a disaster. First video, you know, it's at the very least, it's going to be one of those posterity things that if I actually do this going forward, I'll look back on this video and say, oh my gosh, what a goober. I've learned so much since then. So that's kind of what I'm doing here now. The YouTubers always say, step number one, start. And, you know, it's that blank piece of paper, it's that blank page, you know, whether I'm drawing or writing, which are two of my interests. You know, it's just staring you in the face. Yeah, this is an outline. Maybe, you know, I don't want to read stuff because for me, you know, then I'd be just, where was I? So in my videos, I do hope to cover wisdom, and believe it or not, I have lived over 6 decades now. I have lived over 6 decades now, and maybe that's apparent because of all this gray. I have a lot more salt than pepper now, at least, you know, in the chinny part of my face, as opposed to, say, here where I get those distinguished looking salt and pepper more up here. So I know, I'm nervous, so I do that. Sorry. That's my nervous reaction, is to do that kind of thing. Let's see. Purpose. Oh. And the other thing, too, for me, is YouTube rules. I mean, I'm probably going to break some. And I don't know any better because personally, I don't take the time to scroll through paragraphs of legal mumbo jumbo that may or may not make sense. I mean, number one, don't be obscene. Number two, don't be a hater. And you know, of course, there's a whole, probably several paragraphs just about those couple of things. But then it's stepping on toes. It's like, I am a huge fan of pop culture, and I will probably spout quotes from movies or songs or anything like that. And then I'm thinking, okay, so if I do this, see, I lost my paper. If I do this, am I going to be infracting rules? Am I going to, you know, have YouTube kick me off because I used a movie quote, or I said inconceivable? And for those of you who have ever watched The Princess Bride, you know what I mean. See, now there is my experiment. See if YouTube kicks me off of the TV just for saying that all by itself. You know what I'm talking about, right, Wassini? So anyway, no, he can't be saying right, because, you know, anyway, I'm not going to be a spoiler for you. But, let's see. Nope, getting my notes again. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So for me, in my research, which is watching 1.5 billion YouTube videos, some for my own entertainment, but some also as a learning experience, it's like, what makes one video that's a how-to video and a guy doing a very good job of how he does what he does, what makes it get 1.1 dozen viewers? Yet there's this other one that I watch, and maybe you're familiar with that woman in Azerbaijan who does nothing more than bake enough for a village, but there's no words. I mean, literally, it's just a bunch of camera shots of a woman getting together a whole bunch of cooking stuff, and so 1.1 dozen views in 5 days. She gets 1.1 million views in, you know, in the same 5 days. So yeah, to monetize a YouTube channel, you gotta worry about the number of views, but I guess it's also about subscribers. So in that respect, and it probably won't be from this video because I am a goober, and I am shooting off of the cuff, even though I've outlined this. But the reason I ask to subscribe is because, again, I'm going to circle back and talk about my 6 decades of life and all of the eras that happened in there. And I mean eras such as I was employed at this place and then this place and this place. That could be an era. I was working with a social club, the Kiwanis. And I absolutely loved that era. Some of that overlapped. I have an era where I was before kids. I have an era during childhood, and of course, not my childhood, my kids' child. And then I have, you know, they're all grown up and old themselves now, older than, not dirt, but older so that they're out of the nest and off doing their own thing. So, I mean, each of those could be considered an era. So, anyway, I am belaboring a huge long point that if you want, so subscribe and you'll get to follow my journey. Now, this is just my journey. Of course, somewhere in there, this beautiful angel-like goddess came into my life. That's the other part of the Evolving Homequist crew. You've probably already heard her voice on the cardinal video where she's, you know, talking about this cardinal that is incessantly banging its skull on our window. And the robins that are now nesting in the very same magnolia bush just outside that very same window. So we are the evolving Homequist crew. And of course, you've probably, if you see any of the other videos on our channel, you'll notice that right now we have 3 bigger dogs. Not big dogs, not little dogs, but they love to sing for the neighborhood. And most of that comes from, and I'm looking over here because they're all crashed out on a bed right next to me. One of them will start talking to somebody walking past the front of our fence, and the other one will start singing, and then we get a duet going on. And of course, Jasmine at the end will highlight with a really high-pitched kind of cute little howl. So anyway, that's just part of the evolving Homequist crew. We include our babies, our fur babies, as part of our crew. I include my goddess, who found me, gosh, it's been almost 10 years now, ago. And we hope to enlighten, we hope to entertain, we hope to bring a little bit of wisdom. It sounds like she will be the more reticent to be on this side of the camera. In fact, even today, just because I am nervous and because I am talking to a camera and because I know she'd judge me harshly, so harshly, as I sit here. She actually went to the store so that I could sit here and talk in this room without her. And anyway, I'm going on and on and on and on about sharing my first video and starting. That's my first thing. The other really cool thing is, you know, and maybe this is going to be a thing for us, maybe it's not, but on the assumption that I'm going to enjoy this more as I get into it, because I do enjoy photography, I do enjoy videography. Do I enjoy being right here talking? I don't know, I guess it depends somewhat on you, on whether I get positive feedback or encouragement or suggestions. I look for all of those kinds of things because, of course, I am not the know-all, be-all, end-all of anything. However, I do have lots of wisdom that I have gleaned from over time. And I know I'm going to seriously edit this, so anyway, so right now she is out to the store, so she doesn't have to experience the excruciating pain of listening to me do this, because she is also a helper, and she would be suggesting probably 150 things already by now, telling me what to say. Yes, she does put words in my mouth sometimes. But also she knows that if she's doing something like this, she wouldn't want me watching. So, you know, it's kind of tit for tat. So anyway, on that note, chances are you will see this after some of the other videos I've made, so you can see what a colossally miserable video that can be made on your first outing and have it still be okay. And again, you know, this might be, as some would probably term it, the bloopers reel or the bloopers video, because it is so basic and so I don't know. Maybe you do know. Maybe you know what I know, and you know. If you know, you know. So with that in mind, I'm just going to say thank you for choking this down, and I hope you watched it this way to the end. And if you have watched it this far, I love you, and like it. and subscribe. Wait, what do? They say smash that like button and subscribe so you can get, well, see if you don't want miserable content like this, but again, I'm assuming I'm going to put out really good content at some point, and you'll get to see that. And maybe this one is just a practice reel that I'll put out in another 100 years, you know, so you can see how poorly I started. I don't know. I guess we'll see how that one plays out. Anyway, do good, be good. Bye. That was Zeke and Wendy's balls, not my balls. Zeke and Wendy's balls. Okay, maybe I don't know how to juggle yet.